What's up, AfterBuzzers? It's time to kick the tires and light the fires because we're coming to you from the Daytona Beach Qualifiers for episode 3 of American Ninja Warrior, so stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There we go. There we go. That's our Wednesday night party music, baby. If you want it so much.
I'm so into this song at this point. I can work out to it.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? There you go. There you go. Guys, we're back. It's the American Ninja Warrior right here on AfterBuzz TV. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Or if it's your first time, thank you for joining us for the first time. If you're on YouTube, leave us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. If you're on iTunes, leave us a comment, download, comment, review, subscribe, rate. 5 stars if you're nasty. We want to hear from you. We got a lot of Ninja Warrior to talk about. My name is Ty Matthews. Y'all can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. Easy for me to say. Joined as always by the always lovely, always talented. You can find her online at Cassandra_TV.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ty.
Amy Cassandra.
Yes. Thank you. And AmyCassandra.com.
There you go.
Go there, find all my socials.
I forget websites are still a thing sometimes.
They are very much a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time on it, actually.
There you go.
But yeah, it's fun. I blog there too.
Oh,
every now
my.
and then.
Just normal stuff?
Life lessons about AfterBuzz, actually.
There you go.
How I found out about AfterBuzz.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to post my Spotify playlists.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
because
I like it.
I love music.
Sure.
As you can see.
Right.
I'm a ninja.
Of course,
And,
of course. Guys, if you don't know about MC Chris, get some MC Chris in your life.
Yeah.
So good. I love it. I love it. He has a song with Childish Gambino that Gambino did on one of his very early mixtapes. It's amazing.
Shut your mouth.
We'll listen to it after
Gambino.
we wrap up the show. But we got a lot to talk about. Season 9, episode 3, the Daytona Beach Qualifiers.
Hi. I wanted to let you guys know that I'm on the chat. Sorry, you can hear my
voice.
voice.
Down.
Hello. I'm on the chat, guys. So you can talk to us.
There you go.
Here we go.
It's interactive. It's an interactive
show. Oh my gosh.
show.
Hi.
Jesus Christ.
Hi, Josh Sheldon. Never watched this AfterBuzz before, is it? Well, I don't know what you're trying to say, but thank you so much for joining us. That's awesome. Oh, people already. Oh, I'm so excited.
All right.
Okay, let's do
get
this.
into it. Let's get into it. Of course, we start as we always do with the floating steps. Next up, we've got the rolling pin. Now, the rolling pin is a brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a 28-foot track with 4 unique drops on that track.
Mm-hmm.
Ninjas have to grab around a pin with their upper body and only their upper body.
Yes.
And hang on for the ride through those 4 drops, make it to the drop zone. Next up, we've got the wing nuts, another brand new obstacle designed by one of our ninjas tonight. We'll get into that a little later on.
Mm-hmm.
But, God, how do you describe these things?
Okay, so they are 3 rotating handholds, and they're each 1.5 inches. They have 1.5 inches long ledges.
Okay.
And they must be. You have to swing from each one to each one, and using like your momentum from like your lower body. There's 3 of them.
Right. You have to swing side to side, and they've got plexiglass like walls on the other side of them.
Yes.
So you can't really grab around them, as we'll see when we talk about John Luby, one of my favorite ninjas.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
So once ninjas get past the wing nuts, next up is a tried and true favorite, the broken bridge. These suspended platforms hanging vertically that ninjas will have to traverse across the top of. Next up is Rolling Thunder. The Rolling Thunder is another one we've seen before. It's a 100-pound, almost like a spool, like something you'd see out of like Fievel, like a giant spool. It's 100 pounds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's 100 pounds. Ninjas have to jump up, grab kind of the outside of the wheel and spin it across this track.
Now, there is plexiglass there too.
Right.
So they only have certain parts of the spool.
Sure.
To hold
That's
on
what we're
to.
calling it now.
We're going to call it a spool.
If there's a better word for it, then I don't know. I don't know what it is. Drum? Maybe drum. Maybe drum. I don't know.
Wheel.
There, yeah. Let's just say wheel.
Wheel. Yeah. They have to make it 23 feet.
Okay, there you go.
So that's how long that is.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, rounding it all out is the 14.5-foot warped wall. So it's a deadly course, like they always are, as is the norm.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the broken bridge is deceivingly difficult.
It seems like it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's another one of those things that we've seen before where you have to make sure to step downward with your weight and not forward, not backwards.
And in the middle. If you step a little too far to the left, a little too far to the right, that's it. Get out.
Right. Definitely. So let's get into it. Let's get into some of our favorite ninjas. Who jumped out at you in tonight's episode?
So I put a heart by
Adorable.
See, I was like, I knew you were gonna ask me this question, so I put a heart. Bree Widener.
Thank you. We've got a packed house in the studio, guys.
Yes!
Guys, calm down. I have got to say, I am obsessed with haunted houses. So Bree Widener, instantly, I was just like, yep, this is amazing.
Oh, see,
Yes.
that's interesting because they said her makeup, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, yes. Because I'm obsessed with makeup.
Not that kind of makeup.
Not that kind of makeup. And I felt like she was doing like a Harley Quinn kind of a makeup.
Little
Did you?
bit,
Yeah.
little bit, absolutely.
I
With
appreciated
the
it.
red and the blue for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
She does demons and clowns and zombies and all sorts of creatures in haunted houses in Georgia.
30 to 60 makeup applications a night.
Whew.
And once she's done, she goes and jumps in to the haunted houses and scares the crap out of people. It's fantastic.
Incredible.
Yeah, I love her.
Haunted houses are legitimately one of my favorite things. So this was a meeting of some of my absolute favorite interests.
I have to say, I'm a big scaredy pants.
That's the whole point.
I know.
That's what makes
okay.
them so fun.
Universal Studios
Spooky.
here, Hollywood. I went through the Walking Dead thing.
Yes.
Like that was a huge thing for me. And I know that was really fast, but
It's pretty intense.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did okay.
Oh no, yeah. You
Okay.
did, if you got through it and you're not scarred, you're fine.
I feel
can
good.
You can do it again.
I feel good. Yeah.
One of the not to get on too much of a haunted house tangent, but one of the biggest and best haunts in the country is in Norcross, Georgia, and it's called Netherworld, and it's
Wow,
amazing. So if you're in Georgia, go check it
Wow.
out.
You really do love this.
Oh, absolutely.
See, that's another reason why we need to have Bree Widener.
We do.
We have makeup coming together
Right.
with haunted houses
Right.
on Halloween.
So not only is she a makeup artist for these haunted houses, but she's self-taught at aerial silks and the lyra or the aerial hoop, which is it's interesting that you can be self-taught at that.
That seems dangerous.
It seems very dangerous. Exactly.
If I teach myself to do that, that would not be good.
I'd be scared enough if I had a pro teaching me.
Are you sure I can do that? Yes, just do it.
It's like that old Mitch Hedberg bit. I tried to teach myself how to play the guitar, but I sucked because I don't know how to play the guitar.
Oh no! See, so she is successful in that.
There you go.
She's scary strong. Now, here's the thing. I feel like there was lots of times during the episode where there was a lot of rough transitions from each thing, and of course they just make your heart drop because you're like, are they gonna make it?
Absolutely. Well, the things like the rolling pin especially does not make for graceful dismounts.
No.
Like you just have to kind of let it slam you into the landing area and hope that you don't land in the water or off the course.
Just whoosh,
right.
like that.
Exactly.
Whoosh.
You got it.
She was the first to get to the broken bridge, and she's only 5'2".
Right.
So I love that she talked about how she loves it when people underestimate her because they don't think that she's as strong as she is, and she's scary strong. And so I was like, yeah,
Sure.
you know, and then just scaring people and being like, what? Yeah, I'm so much stronger than you think I am.
Right.
Joke's on you. So I was
Right,
like, okay, let's see how you do. She did fall at the Rolling Thunder, but
Right.
that was
And she was hanging there for a while, and
Yeah.
we'll see that happen again over the course of the night. But just every single second that you're hanging on an obstacle like that, your arms are just your grip is giving out, your shoulders are giving out. It's got to be tough when you get up to something like that. But she made it. You know, she was the first one to make it that far up to that point. So yeah, I got a big kick out of her appearance.
okay. Can I say one more?
Please
favorite?
do. Please
I
do.
feel like you might say him. Well, I don't know.
You talking about John Luby? If you're talking about John Luby.
No. I know he's one of your favorites.
That's my boy.
Tyler Gillette.
Tyler Gillette, no sweat Gillette. That was one of my favorite moments of the whole episode.
Okay, so let's start. He's a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He's 21 years old. He's a delivery driver.
Right.
For, what did they say?
For Jimmy John's.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because it's like the,
Freaky,
Jimmy John's.
Freaky Fast? Is that
Freaky,
what it is?
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it goes. We got Scary Strong, got Freaky Fast. It's all about the alliteration today, ladies and germs.
He's from Georgia. So he just turned 21. This is the kicker. He's been waiting 7 years to compete.
It's crazy to even think about the fact that that's a thing. Like, someone's been watching this since they were a kid. Yeah. Like, that makes, first of all, it makes it feel very odd. Second of all, he's been watching this since 2010, since he was 14 years old, waiting to get on the show.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah, that makes me think of where I was in 2010.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So him and his friend built a course. They're like, yeah, let's do it. And then he started realizing, like, no, I really could do it. Like, this can actually be a possibility. He's part of, like, the next generation ninja too, because people growing up, like you're saying, people growing up with American Ninja Warrior thinking, I want to do that. And they grow up, and the next thing you know, you can. He was the first to finish. Too.
That moment got me for sure when he got up and he hit that buzzer. Absolutely. I mean, it's not an episode goes by that at least one moment doesn't get to me.
Oh yeah.
This one really got me for sure.
See, just think about it. I'm getting a little
right.
I'm so happy.
It's a little dusty.
It's just it's allergies, guys. It's so inspiring too, because you think of all your goals. You know, we've talked about this. It's working hard to reach your goals, but for him, like, working hard for 7 years, and you can see that, and he got him there. It's so exciting. Okay, let's move on to you. Your favorite.
Yes, let's talk about John Luby. Let's talk about the geriatric ninja. This guy is so incredible. The fact that, I think they talk about it, the fact that he was 44 when Tyler Gillette was born.
Yes.
So the fact that he's
44.
Yes. Yeah.
44.
So last year he set the record for the oldest ninja to complete an obstacle at 64. This year at 65 he's looking to break that record himself.
Yes.
And I got so invested in watching his run, because he almost loses it on the rope swing after those floating steps.
Oh my gosh.
Which that's another thing that's kind of deceptively difficult that people don't really realize. Yeah.
We saw that this episode, I feel like.
Obviously when people like Drew Dressel get through it, it's not quite, it doesn't quite look so difficult.
It's just he breezes through it.
But it's very easy. I think there was someone else tonight where they completely lost that momentum, and it's a scary moment when they're just hanging on that rope and you stop moving. Like, how do you get yourself going again?
Yeah, that happened a lot today.
Right.
The transition from the floating steps.
But I gotta say, I think my favorite visual of this entire episode, and possibly of this season by the time we get to Vegas, is John Luby making it past those wing nuts. Like, I audibly jumped out of my seat and gasped when I saw this at home. When he made it, when he made it past the first one, let alone the second one.
I put transitioning to second wing nut was insane.
Right. Well, and also because it was a very interesting approach, because it looked like he might not have known that plexiglass was there.
Yeah.
Because he kind of grabbed onto one side of that wing nut and then was able to sort of shift around to the side and readjust himself.
That was terrifying. I'm reliving that moment right now.
Right.
Just thinking about it. Because for sure, I thought that was it. He's out.
100%. I was like, okay, you made it past the floating steps, made it past the rolling pin, which that was another scary moment, that was a violent dismount.
Each time that rolling pin drops, it's like,
right.
Just insane. And the fact that people can hold on.
When it gets to the end of that track, it's a very, very violent landing. But I thought very much the same thing. Once he got past that, I figured, okay, we've gotten the moment. He's broken his own record, oldest ninja to complete an obstacle. I cannot imagine he's going to make it past that first wing nut. And he made it to the last one. He made it to that very last one.
And yeah. Oh, okay. Are you gonna touch on what happened after?
Well, so I wanted to talk about exactly what it was that kind of that did him in, because it wasn't even necessarily it wasn't his grip going out, because they showed a slow motion replay and it looked like what happened was, so he had gone for that sort of sideways dismount, and when he landed fine and his grip was fine, but the momentum turned his body around so much that his arms crossed with each other and kind of forced him to let go.
Yes.
So it's interesting watching the different ways that people can be eliminated on these obstacles. But to your point, afterwards he takes a dip in the water. Of course, teeth come right out.
That's awful. Don't you just hate when that happens?
I mean, it used to be like a weekly occurrence here for me in the studio. I got it under control. But
good.
But
Whoa! I was like, what's going on? I just got it. Oh gosh, glad you were able to put those back in.
Reel them back in. But John Louie, 65-year-old window cleaner from Bristol, Tennessee, one of my absolute favorites. Team Geriatric Ninja. All day. All day, every day.
I love reading my notes after it's done. Because I put lost dentures and went into water to get them! Exclamation mark. Like, no way! Yes, Amy, that happened. Yeah, that happened.
You're right.
Yeah.
Your eyes are not deceiving you.
Yeah, that was fun. That was so fun.
What else? We also got, and this is really quick. We didn't get to see too much of him because he went out on the wing nuts. But Caleb Watson, he's a dairy farmer that had an extremely fast finish in Atlanta last year. I was so sad to see him go out so quickly, because his story, if you haven't seen it, go back to last season, go check out the Atlanta qualifiers, because his story is awesome. He's this dairy farmer. I had asked Christine Leahy a couple weeks ago when she was in, go check out that interview if you haven't. When she was in, one of my favorite things about the show is seeing people that have these unorthodox training methods. You know, people that aren't necessarily going to ninja gyms, but they're literally on farms. And like in John Louie's video, we saw him splitting wood with an axe.
Yes.
And Caleb Watson, we would see him, on his farm, on his dairy farm. It's stuff like that you never know where these ninja skills are gonna come from.
Yeah.
Right?
I know, I'm thinking, like, what's the most random, or not random, but the craziest job people have had, as a ninja.
Right.
I can't even.
The Papal Ninja comes to mind. The Papal Ninja. He's a priest in training.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
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 That could be, that's gotta be up there for sure.
Yeah. Gosh. See, I say this every week, but I really want us to do it. Like, let's go to the obstacle course. But if we could pick our own obstacles, that'd be great. Because there's so many different ones. I looked at the wing nuts and I was like, no.
I might go for the rolling pin just because that.
Yeah, that seems fun.
Not that one. Not that it's easy by any means, but I think I can at least try to hang on.
I would.
Everything else seems like it requires way too much coordination.
See, I'd try and cheat and use my legs. I'd be like, no, just grab onto it.
Right.
Like,
of course.
Like a little spider.
Right. There you go. Like a spider ninja.
Yeah. Another favorite? Do you have another one?
God, who else do we got? I mean, we'll get into kind of the big time vets, the favorites a little later.
Okay.
These are the ones that kind of jump out at me in terms of their stories,
Okay.
Like who else?
Kevin.
Who's that?
Kevin Carbone.
Oh yes, Kevin Carbone, of course. Is that the maker? The maker ninja?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, he's the maker.
So he's their American Ninja Warrior, I believe it might have been last season, held an obstacle design competition for any fans of the show to send in their designs and to get a chance to design an obstacle for this season. And so Kevin Carbone became, with his run tonight, he became the very first ninja to ever compete on an obstacle of his own design.
And guess what it was, guys? Wing nuts. That sounds weird. But yeah, that's what he called it. Him and his dad. They were like, yeah.
They do. I couldn't think of anything better. They do kind of look like wing nuts.
I get the wing part.
You've seen wing nuts, right? Like, okay, well.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
It's
a type of. I guess it's a type of nut.
Like a nut.
Like a screw.
I'm used to. You know what? Yes. I'm thinking of all the things I've put together with IKEA.
Do they come with wing nuts?
I feel like they have. If not, they look like them.
I'm gonna Google wing nuts real quick.
Guys, if you're... Oh, wait, quick shout out to our chat. Thank you guys so much for talking. We're talking... Jessie was great also. Wait, we're not getting there.
No, we'll get there.
Smaller one is worse than the big one. I don't know what that means. Thank you, Just Sheldon, for being so active on here. Corby Own. Jessie was great also. Pecs, man.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Those are wing nuts.
Yes.
Yes,
I know what wing... Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. But
yeah, let's talk about, on that point, let's talk about Eddie Stewart. Let's talk about this 34-year-old firefighter from Alabama, Mr. Pec-tacular.
Also named, quoted, hottest firefighter in Alabama. So I know he's Mr. Pec-tacular too.
Sure.
But he's also that.
Is that an official title?
That's what they said. So, Akbar, I'm just saying, that's what he said.
All
or
right.
Matt. But yeah, and he had no shirt on, so we got to see those pecs.
Right.
200 pounds, 5'10". Tall guy, big guy. He has a pec flexing boot camp class.
Which
That's
really,
cool.
if you need to learn how to flex those pecs, it's an important skill to learn.
Well, I have a question for you, Ty. Would you attend that class?
Who says I don't already know how?
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Okay, can we see anything?
Got a
just
lot of hidden talents. I mean, I'm wearing a dark shirt.
That's okay. Try. Let's do it. Oh my gosh!
And I think it goes throughout the camera.
Podcast. He did it.
This is why you gotta watch the YouTube stream.
Oh my gosh! Wait, let's make sure that was recorded because you can save this and send it to everyone.
A looping GIF animation.
Okay, let's do it in 5, 6, 7, 8.
What is it? It's left, right, double.
There was something there, guys.
There's something.
There we go. See? That was fantastic. I did not know you could do that. Well, there you go. Okay.
Well, it's all thanks to the world of pro wrestling, everybody. But I loved Eddie Stewart, the way he attacked the broken bridge, especially. The way he leaps over that very last platform.
I mean, if you've got the height, you can go for it.
Yeah.
And he had it.
With stuff like that, with stuff like the broken bridge, there isn't really a rule against that. It's really, I was thinking about it as I was watching it, really the only rule is just get from that first platform to the second platform. Other
Pretty
obstacles,
much.
they have rules where, different body parts you can use, different ones you can't use. This one is just get from one end to the other. And so I feel like there's a lot more leeway with the broken bridge.
He was very creative, and we didn't see that from other people. They were
Right.
just like, ooh, one to one.
Right.
Yeah. So it worked for him, and that was awesome.
And that bridge is also another thing where you have to use that forward momentum as much as possible. Like, I imagine I'm thinking about how I would tackle it, and I would definitely overthink it, and I would fall instantly. Because it's one of those things where you almost kind of can't think about it.
Yeah.
You just have to go as quick as you can.
See, it's funny you say that because I kept thinking that maybe if I almost went down, I'd just grab onto the sides. You know how there's, what is it, like string or whatever the heck it is? I'd hold on to that for as long as possible.
Interesting.
And then
that may be the only rule. I don't know if that... I wonder.
Well, they didn't say it, so it's not a rule. So if we end up going there,
There you go.
and that's an obstacle,
That's what we're banking on.
yeah, whatever works. He did take a little while to complete, but he was the second to finish, 4:16.
There you go.
But I say that took a while, 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
Right.
4 minutes and
a hell of a
16
lot
seconds.
quicker than I'd be able to do any of this.
Yeah, if I made it through, it'd be an hour.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. But let's talk about some of our kind of the big guns that come out near the end of the episode.
Okay.
Of course, we got to talk about Jessie Graff.
Okay.
Jessie Graff is... I don't want to make too many comparisons, but it does seem like she's kind of being positioned as the new Casey Catanzaro.
I'm sorry.
What?
I need to say, chat, the Q word 21, AfterBuzz is Mr. Pec-tacular. Okay, so we have a new
There you
nickname
go.
for you.
There you go.
Ty, Mr. Pec-tacular.
I guess.
AfterBuzz is Mr. That's funny, guys. You guys on chat are awesome.
No,
Okay.
yeah, let's. So, like I said, I don't want to make too many comparisons, but it does seem like in terms of, I guess, kind of the poster ninja for the show, Jessie Graff has kind of taken over that role. I love that video package that we saw of her where she said that she got an email from a parent saying their child had asked why Wonder Woman was dressed as Jessie Graff.
I know.
Which is pretty normal.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Well, and it's nice to see that all of the fame, and she went viral,
Right.
of course.
Right.
That it didn't get to her head and that it didn't stress her out. You could see, when she competed and everything, she was fine.
Right.
Of course she fell. We saw that. But she was still a rock star.
Sure.
Like, you can fall and still be a rock star. She's amazing. So
Right.
I think it's good. And, of course, all the girls that look up to her called Jessie's girls, which is, it's so clever. I love it.
Didn't even catch that.
Really?
That's really good. That's really good.
Jesse's girls. There you go.
Yep.
Just for you guys. Thank you.
But yeah, just those clips of like the little girls doing the spider wall.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Wearing her outfit too.
Yeah.
The green one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And I love that she showed up dressed up as Wonder Woman. Well, I mean, parts of her costume were Wonder Woman.
This time around,
sorry, Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman.
Sorry.
Yep, there you go.
Oh my gosh, my husband would kill me. He loves Spider-Man. We're super pumped. Oh my god.
I'm pretty excited.
Gosh.
I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
We'll talk after the show.
But
Very
yeah,
excited.
she also has pole vaulting experience. So I think that helps because we know.
Well, she's got this really well-rounded skill set. Not only is she a pole vaulter, but she's a stunt woman as well.
Yes.
And she's got really extensive kind of martial arts training also. So I feel like stunt people are really interestingly and accurately prepared for American Ninja Warrior because it's moving in ways that your body isn't used to, isn't ready to, you know?
We should have more.
I agree.
I think she might inspire some more.
Sure.
Other stunts people. Stunts people?
You got it.
Okay.
Nailed it in one. Check
There
the
we
gate.
go.
Moving on.
There you go. She's only 130 pounds.
Right. But she's tall. She's one of the more lithe competitors that we've seen.
Now, here is where I think you could see her strength. She was on the Rolling Thunder for over a minute.
Right.
And so this is the spoolie / wheel thing that you're holding on to. And she'd gotten good momentum at the beginning, but it just got to be too much, and she was on there.
And one of the toughest things about Rolling Thunder is that it's got that propensity to roll forward just as well as it can roll backward.
Yes. So when people are trying to dismount, it can roll the other way, and then you get further away. So, I mean, we did see people fall because it was rolling the wrong way.
Exactly, and it's the exact same thing that we saw happen to Brie Widener. You know, she's holding on for so long that on a long enough timeline, everyone's grip's gonna go out. And so it was a heartbreaking moment for sure.
Yeah.
You know that making it that far, making it that fast, there's a very good chance that she was going to make it to the
city finals. Yes.
But it's still just that much more heartbreaking when you see someone not be able to ring a buzzer. You know that's got to eat at them for sure.
Yeah, it's like Casey.
Right.
That she said, I want to come to you dry. Christine. I mean, it sounded weird, but like they want to get to the buzzer.
Exactly. It's a matter of principle. It's not just about making it to the finals. It's about conquering this course.
Yeah. And I mean, especially because, so as a reminder, I believe it's just this season, the top 5 women in the qualifying move on to the city finals.
Right.
So they don't necessarily have to finish and hit the buzzer. Right. They just have to be, get farthest along. But I love that the women are like, no, we're going to try and hit that buzzer because we can't. It's not just sliding and doing the bare minimum.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Who else did we have?
Well, this was sweet. We got a proposal.
We did get a proposal.
We got one last episode maybe the episode before that. But this one, I felt like, yeah, there was one. It was but a super quick thing that they just showed it like, oh, yeah, that person got engaged. Okay, let's move on.
Oh, okay. I think I remember.
It was
I remember.
super fast.
It was a very,
Yeah, but we got Casey Sahaki. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, so.
Oh, that's right. Casey Sahaki, Grandpa Emmett.
Yes,
another one of my favorite
yes.
ninja families.
Yeah, so he's an engineering student. He's 25. But yeah, so girlfriend Ashley was there, and I loved it because they showed her just cheering him on.
Right.
I love it when they show the families.
Of course.
You know, all that support, because that's important.
Right, and he was another guy that almost lost it on that rope swing right after the floating steps. It's rough. It gets you on the edge of your seat for sure.
But yeah, so yeah, I wrote that. Rough time transitioning. But he was the first one to get through okay, so he was only the second one in the episode, but he was the first one to get through the rolling pin.
Right.
He fell at the second wing nut, and so at that point I'm thinking, is he not going to propose anymore? Because he wanted to get to the buzzer.
Right,
and,
right. But at that point, that ring, we saw that ring hanging around his neck, and it's like Chekhov's gun. If you introduce a ring, there has to be a proposal.
Okay.
For sure.
It's on the table. It's in his shirt.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we saw, and I kept thinking, I hope he doesn't lose it. You know, when if he falls. But yeah. So then, as soon as he got out, then, oh my God, will you marry me? Oh, I love that. That's so sweet.
We also saw a proposal of a different kind later on in the episode.
Yes.
Who was that? Let me consult my notes.
Oh. Was it?
It was Kevin Carbone. It was the maker. It was the maker ninja, the one that had designed the wing nuts.
Yeah.
He makes it up that warped wall, and he proposes to the buzzer.
Yeah. I put he's so excited. Propose to the buzzer?
Yeah.
Question mark. Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah. You meant to write an exclamation point.
No, I put both. I was like, really? Okay.
Of
that's
course,
cool.
really.
And she said yes.
Obviously.
There you go.
I'm very, very happy to together.
Yeah.
Who else? I also want to talk about Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson, he's a 38-year-old banker, and he's the one. And it's another thing that is important about a lot of these competitors and a lot of the stories that they bring is the different causes that they make us aware of. Mm-hmm. You know, Chris Johnson, his brother served in the military. Once he got out, he had a hard time transitioning to civilian life, had PTSD, ended up taking his own life, which is the case with 22 veterans every day. Uh-huh. And so that's something about Chris, is that he says that his brother was 10 times the man that he is. So every single day he does 220 push-ups. And on Veterans Day, he did 2,200. Mm-hmm. It's wild to think about. I know. But it's stuff like that, and so he got involved with Canines for Warriors, which pairs rescue dogs with veterans with PTSD, and it's causes like that are as inspiring as the people that go through this course. You know,
it's difficult to lose someone, but when you turn that into something positive, you know, he's giving back to the community and raising awareness, and, you know, having this platform of American Ninja Warrior is amazing, and to bring light to that is great.
Absolutely.
So he's a tall dude.
He's 6'3", 185, made it all the way to the broken bridge.
Yeah.
And it just almost made it. That very last step. It's tricky. Like once you get your momentum going, you have to keep kind of carrying forward
and stay in the middle.
Barely lost it on that last step. Mm-hmm. But it's stuff like that. I think we saw later on in the episode, we saw, God, who was it? Oh
wait, I have another favorite too.
Who's that?
Wait, where did he go?
Henry Farun. He had dyed his beard pink. That's who I was talking about. To raise awareness for breast cancer. Founded Ninja for a Cure. Uh-huh. So stuff like that. Please go check that out. Go check out Chris Johnson. All sorts of awesome, worthwhile causes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was another one that jumped out at me. Who were you thinking?
Otis Hooper.
Hoop.
Yeah.
Love Otis. That guy. Oh my God. That guy's ridiculous.
That's We say this all the time. Inspirational. But seriously.
That's the thing. Yeah, I hate to sound like a broken record and keep harping on it. Please bear with us.
Yeah, but
they keep giving us content.
So he went from dad bod to like a bodybuilder, basically.
Absolutely insane. Completely shredded.
And he lost 50 pounds of fat, gained 25 pounds of muscle, 20 pounds of muscle. Okay.
25.
25 pounds of muscle.
Maybe.
He competed for the title of Mr. Olympia. He's 5'11", tall guy, 200 pounds.
Right.
And I loved how family oriented he was. And he was like, yeah, my kids actually pointed it out. You know, it was my dad bod.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. There is nothing wrong with the dad bod.
Sure.
There is nothing wrong. But I love that he wanted to get ripped. And it's not like an overnight thing. So you know that there's a lot of dedication.
And the way that he framed it, the way that he said, I just started with a single push-up and a single sit-up and just built on that.
Isn't that how it works? I mean, people always try to have these huge goals. Lose 100 pounds. Start slowly and you're going to get there. Your body is just amazing and it will start working for you. You just need to help it.
Exactly.
And then it's just, it's doable. But yeah, so he's 40.
Right.
And he rocked it. I mean, he had a rough transition to the rolling pin. I wrote that a lot. See? Yeah. It was rough.
It was a recurring theme for sure.
And he did fall at the rolling pin.
Right.
But he still did great. And
who was it that took off of the rolling pin? They just took the edge of that landing platform with their back. It was a rough landing. Might have been Casey. That might have been Casey Sawaki. Or no, maybe not. It was someone else. Someone took when they landed off of that rolling pin, they kind of turned and just like their back right against the corner of that landing pad.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember. But yeah. Otis Hoop Hooper definitely hoop.
I'll try to say that a different way. Hoop. Oh no! Oh, is Ty okay? Oh no! He's okay, guys.
That was incredible.
It's all for you, Ty. AfterBuzz picked after.
You got it.
Dang it!
We'll nail it down.
Yes.
Who else?
AfterBuzz.
So we talked about some of the veterans. We talked about Jessie Graff. Let's talk about Travis Rosen. He's made it to the city finals 7 straight seasons, and like I've talked about that before. That's got to create such an immense sense of pressure to not screw up. You know, it would be impossible for me not to get in my own head after something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and especially because you know what it's like to get so far.
Right.
And so then you're like, hey, it's fine. And so, I mean, I don't think any of these competitors think I've got it in the bag.
Oh, sure.
At any point, because the obstacles could change, and there's some that you might have never done in your life.
Well, and we've seen the best in the world fail on obstacles before. No one's bulletproof at this point.
No.
But he does make it as the oldest and fastest finish of the night at that point. 42 years old. He finishes in 1 minute 47 seconds.
Yes, at
fastest
that point.
finish of the night up until the real life ninja Drew Drechsel. And this run is you have to see to believe it, really.
Seriously, guys, if you haven't seen it, watch it. If you've seen it, watch it again.
I just started laughing as I was watching it because it's like it's insane. What'd you write?
I wrote. Oh, here's the thing. I wrote what, but I couldn't spell it. I was like, what? What? And I crossed it out, and I was like, wait, what? And I couldn't get it, and I was like, I know what I'm trying to say. I get it. But yeah, fast.
That's just not kidding.
I'm not kidding. I'm not. I was just like, my cat was watching it with me. Spielberg, I love you.
Oh, Spielberg.
Yeah, and I was just like, what? And just looking at him, he's a great viewing partner.
Oh, so I bet.
But yeah, I was just in shock. And we talked about this last week, you know, the fastest times.
Right.
And you think of, okay, this time, 1:10.
Right.
Sometimes that's just a commercial.
Right. Well, I mean, as we saw, people were just on Rolling Thunder for a minute alone.
Yes.
Right.
That is a good point.
It's insane. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it's, you know, he was the top ninja in Vegas last season, went farther than anyone else had. And so, of course, that's going to push him even further. He not only wants to be the top ninja, he wants to be the top gym owner also.
Yeah.
And really, really kind of improve the whole community. Both, you know, he wants to give ninjas jobs. He wants to be able to train new generations of ninjas.
I love that.
Unreal. A minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah. He has an army of ninjas, pretty much. Just like, ninjas. It's starting.
There's minions.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I was thinking of Dumbledore's army.
Oh, I see.
Harry Potter.
Sure.
Right there. Yeah.
Sure.
It's exciting. I love that, you know, like we talked about, American Ninja Warrior has been going on for a while, that now it's exciting to see these people that have grown up and just getting to fulfill those dreams. But even the guys now, it's like, I don't know. It's so exciting. It makes me excited for the future and the future of American Ninja Warrior, because it's like, who knows what kind of obstacles are going to come up next and like be designed.
And so out of tonight's field, we've got 18 people that actually finished the whole course, that hit that buzzer. We've got, another 12 that are going to move on to the city finals, all of which had been, or of the men had been eliminated on Rolling Thunder. We've also got the top 5 women. We've got Jessie Graff, Lindsay Eskildsen, Brie Widener, Emily Durham, and Adrienne Alvord, all moving on to the city finals. So we've got a lot to look forward to, for sure.
There's so many people. This was the first time I actually numbered how many people they showed.
Okay.
35.
Okay.
35. That doesn't mean all of them made it, of course.
There were a lot of people. There were a lot of people that even finished the course that we didn't see anything out of.
Yeah.
So and I'm sure they're saving those stories for the city finals.
Yeah.
Because you can't show everyone's story just in the qualifier.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to see. Oh, Tim Miller with the snazzy bow tie and the cool haircut in the back.
Of course, the shades on the back of the head, of course.
It took me a little while. I was like, why is he facing the wrong way? And then I saw, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Absolutely.
5'7", 160. Oh, yeah, he went from, like, the single life to the family life.
Sure.
And speaking of family life, we did have Jason Bergstrom. 9 kids.
9 kids, some of which are adopted. It's absolutely incredible.
I love big families.
I love seeing rookies, because he came in a 41-year-old rookie. So I love people, starting their ninja careers kind of later on in life,
Yeah. And Ben Kennedy.
The NASCAR ninja.
Yes. Yes. Because this was in Daytona.
Of course.
But yeah, rough transition again to the rolling pin. He did fall at the maybe he was the one you were talking about. He fell at the rolling pin. He hit his back.
Maybe that's who that was.
That looked painful.
So yeah, we've got next week. We got qualifiers coming from Kansas City, Missouri. We've got the Cowboy Ninja Lance Pekas. We got the Towers of Power Dan Polizzi and Brandon Mears. More firefighters to possibly join Eddie Stewart.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited. This is the 4th stop. So I don't know. I want to see. We had a good representation from the ladies, obviously, Jessie Graff, but I'd like more.
Right, absolutely. Yes. I think we might get that. We might get that next week.
Cross our fingers.
So, who knows? Kansas City qualifiers. Same bad time. Same bad channel. Well, this was fun.
This was fun.
It's a little bit warm in the studio right now.
Oh, we didn't share that with you guys. It's toasty. I wish Snapchat would tell me. Do you think Snapchat would tell me
the temperature?
I don't think it works like that. My phone can't tell. It is. What do you think?
Would that it could.
It feels like 80 something. 90.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
It's toasty.
That's LA for you. But thank you so much for joining us this week. Whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on iTunes, please leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, download, comment, review, subscribe, rate. Once again, 5 stars if you're nasty. Amy, where can they find you?
Ooh.
I know.
They're putting the music on.
Keyboard Cat's playing us out.
Okay. So you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at AmyCassandra_TV, AmyCassandra.com as well. And on other after shows here on AfterBuzz, we've got World of Dance, Daytime Divas, and Wrecked.
So much.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much for joining us on the chat. It was a blast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As always, you can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. Tomorrow night, I will be on the American Grit After Show at Man, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Then I'll be on Lucha Underground at 10 o'clock with Jimbo Slice, who's in the booth right now.
Hey.
Good brother. Good brother, you there?
Hi.
There he is.
Hey.
There he is. You can find him online at Jimbo in the booth. But yes, please join us tomorrow night, and we'll talk some wrestling, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. But we'll be right back here, same bad time, same bad channel, next week, talking the Kansas City qualifiers. But until then, guys, peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.